we're live from Calloway's Fitness. This would be Wanda's
This
gym.
is my gym, and y'all, if you've never been here, you absolutely need to swing by. It's fabulous. I've been a member here for almost 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, the gym's been here since, I don't know, like the 80s.
There's something about walking into a gym. And what we're going to talk about today is that feeling, because for everybody, it's not such a good feeling.
No, especially women.
Yeah.
Especially women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
what top things do you?
So when I walk into a gym like this,
Mhm.
I'm a workout person. I've always worked out. So, but I come in here and I'm like, I don't know how to use anything. So I go to the treadmill and I do sit-ups and I do push-ups because I don't need anybody for that. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
The machinery has become so crazy.
Yeah, it's big.
It's big.
Big and it's intimidating.
Well, and it's great if you can, sneak in and peek in on somebody and see what they're doing. But,
Mhm.
as you know, the gym that I'm a member of now is an MMA gym where we do mixed martial arts. So I have lots of teachers. But if you have gym anxiety, you just really need to be able to walk in and say, look, person that works there, coach,
Mhm.
I don't know how to use this stuff. I need somebody to teach me.
Yeah.
And I think therein lies the difference.
Yeah, well, and all gyms, everyone that I've been to has someone, you walk in, they're gonna, I mean, if you're interested in that gym, they're gonna show you around. And if you ask, they'll most definitely introduce you to the equipment. They've got trainers there, or you can hire a trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of options you could do.
And the reason that we're here is because Wanda is the fit coach. She is the fitness expert. I am the life coach. So as we talk about obstacles and intimidation, it's not just gyms
No,
that cause that. I've spent years interviewing people about what it takes to really live your life on purpose, on mission, with a purpose, with a passion. And there's not anything that you do that doesn't require stepping over the comfort zone.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. It takes that first step.
Yeah.
And everyone starts out as a newbie.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing. Yeah.
So if I were to join this gym, knowing what I know now about who I am now, because I'm more of a confident person than I used to be, I would ask someone to show me how to use, I wouldn't say all these. I mean, this is
You don't need all these.
Yeah.
That's what kind of overwhelms people.
It is.
They walk in and they're like, holy cow,
It is.
which one do I need? How do I use it? And how much weight do I need to put on it? All those things kind of jump out at you.
And then you go look at it and you're like, if I sit down here and try to do this or stand up here and do this, people are going to think I'm crazy. Well, you got to get over what people think because they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about their own needs, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I'm only thinking about myself when I'm in the gym. What are you thinking about?
Me too. And I'm trying to make it through whatever I set out to do in the gym. So I think being intimidated is, it's a problem no matter what you do. You can get in the car.
Yeah.
You can go on a trip and go somewhere you've never been. And if you let that fear and intimidation stop you, you're pretty much not going to do anything. Do you think so?
I agree. Yeah, it will absolutely stop you dead in your tracks. If you've got something outside of your comfort zone, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to struggle. Yeah.
So
Baby steps too,
baby steps and the miracles are in the moments. So when you go to a gym or you step out and you do something you've never done, what you're really doing is you're keeping your word to yourself. We talk about how important it is to, do what you say you're going to do. If you tell somebody you're going to call them, to call them. If you tell someone you're going to show up for a meeting, you do that. But how often do we let ourselves down? And I think you can speak to this more than anyone else. What it feels bad when people don't pursue their goals.
Yeah. Well, and they feel disappointed
in themselves,
disappointed in themselves, and then it makes them stumble. So it messes with their confidence. And so yeah, commitments to yourself, it's super important to keep those. Yeah.
And I think you have to decide specifics on what they are. Like this morning, I decided to not look at Twitter all day today because I'm looking at election news and it's a complete waste of time. It makes my emotions go up and down. So I have to take charge of me and not waste that time. So I made one little simple decision this morning,
Mhm.
and that's to not, it's X. Okay, it's not Twitter. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I've got to be true to what I said to myself today. I'm not going to get on X today and read any political news because it makes me mad.
Yeah.
It makes me scared. And it's
Anxious.
a waste of time.
Mhm.
What's a good fitness thing like that people can do?
A good fitness thing,
Like
example.
a simple example of I'm not going to do this.
Oh. Hmm.
Like maybe eat sugar.
Well, I mean, nutrition is, yeah, nutrition probably would trump the exercise, because most people, once they get started exercising, they'll stick to it because it becomes, that feel good thing. But nutrition, on the other hand, is usually where people fall off and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna have sugar, or I'm not gonna have that Diet Coke, or whatever the thing is that you're trying to eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, maybe just one. And then before you know it, that one M&M or whatever is a bag. It's a bag later. Mhm. Yeah.
But we give ourselves the liberties to have the thing we allow ourselves to have. Like for me, it's these dark chocolate almonds. And if I'm going to have a sweet tooth, well, first of all, dark chocolate is healthy. It
So are
comes from the
almonds.
bean. It's a salad in a little bitty tiny ball.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's a bean and it's an almond.
yeah.
So, but I have pre-decided that if I need something sweet, and I'm not going to say I don't let myself cheat, I do. But for the most part, that's my go-to because I can, and I know some people can't do 3 or 4 or 5.
Mm-mm.
But I've pre-decided where my little cheat zone is and what I can let myself get away with where I don't feel bad. And I
Yeah.
think that's, to me, it's really the little decisions along the way that
Yeah.
we pre-decide and we've really followed through for ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you've got to have a plan, so if you've got a plan, you write things down and you can kind of say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and check, check, check,
Yeah.
and you keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. And mind y'all, we're in a live gym, so there's people around. So if
Yeah.
you see people coming by or voices around, it's because people are here doing their thing and they're working. But another thing we've talked about is that we're coming up on the end of the year.
Years.
And I think people tend to beat themselves up on, well, the year's almost over.
Yeah.
But now's the best time ever to really think about how to strategize through the holiday season and
Yeah.
remain committed to
Yeah.
your goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Stick to it. We're live, Cheryl. That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna be about 10 more minutes.
Hey, y'all, how you doing?
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
That's
But
the
yeah,
good
the
thing
gym
about-
is open, so we've got people kind of coming in, trickling in a little bit.
Yeah.
Good for them for keeping their commitments, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Well, hell, I forgot what we were talking about.
Well, it's the little commitments. And
Yeah.
as a life coach, that's what I find that helps people the most. It's really taking that idea, everything starts with a thought.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be helpful. Okay, well then,
What are
what
the
is
steps?
something that you can do that isn't overwhelming, that help you to achieve that goal? And, you're either going to be healthy or you're going to be not healthy. So you
Yeah.
have to decide. Both require work.
Yeah.
I mean, being sick is hard work.
Being sick is very hard work, and yeah, exhausting, and yeah. I'd much rather be healthy than the opposite.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But talking about baby steps, when you're talking about toeing in, just going to a gym as a starter,
Mm-hmm,
getting that introduction to the gym, and then scheduling the tour.
mm-hmm.
You don't have to commit. You can actually get a tour before you commit. So you're getting the lay of the land, because I know a lot of women are kind of controlling. We're a little controlling. So we need to know. We need to know what it looks like. We need to know where we're going, what we're going to do first. It's those things. And I think when you get, and we're just using the gym as an example, because we're talking about gym intimidation right now, but just getting in and kind of getting the lay of the land. And then
Yeah.
you get a little comfortable the first time, and then maybe you only go twice a week, and then the next month you go 3 times a week, and then the next month, so a baby step, you
Yeah.
know, kind of incrementally getting yourself in there and working your way towards fitness and health.
And discipline produces discipline,
Yeah. It does.
it really does. I mean, the other day, at the end of the day, somebody offered me like a piece of cake, and I had worked out so hard that morning.
Mhm.
And that's what gave me the ability to say, no, thank you. I said, I am not killing the workout that I did this morning with
Yeah.
that piece of cake.
Yeah.
Now, are there times I say yes to the cake? Yeah, but you know what? Not real often.
Mhm.
It's just because I don't want to sabotage my efforts.
Yeah.
And I think it's in those moments where I feel good about me. And I talked about having a bold sense of identity. That bold sense of identity doesn't come from waking up everything
Rev
right
up.
in the world.
Yeah.
It comes from making decisions about who you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
who you want to become, and then making decisions that back that up. And
Yeah.
that fitness is part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what were the top comments on your question when you
Oh my
asked people?
gosh. Judgment. Women are afraid that when they walk in, everyone's looking at them and people are passing judgment about the way they look or about the way they're, moving the weights or whatever. But you and I both, we talked about this when we first jumped on. No one's looking at you. Because I had that same thought when I
Yeah.
first started in the gym. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me. What are they thinking? Am I wearing the right stuff? Whatever.
Yeah.
But everyone's focused on themselves. So, everyone's in there for health and fitness. It's no one's passing judgment. I can attest to that. I've been in the gym for 25 years. I have never, ever, ever once looked at someone and passed any kind of judgment about being in a gym. Doesn't matter what you look like or how
Yeah.
old you are, anything like that. You're in there for a reason.
And at the same time, anytime I've ever been in a gym or in a park running or in my gym, if I speak to someone,
Yeah.
they speak back.
Yeah.
If I ask them, hey, how do you use this crazy looking machine? They either say, let me show you, or they're like, I have no
I
idea.
have no
Let's ask."
idea.
So it becomes fun.
Camaraderie too. Yeah.
And you're like, what happened to
Yeah.
push-ups and sit-ups? Now we got all
Mhm.
these machines that help us not injure ourselves. But I think that the gym intimidation, what people think about you, is what you think about you.
Yeah.
That's so important. And going in there, and my son always tells me when I'm getting ready to speak to a group, he's like, own the room, mom, own the
Own
room.
the room.
I think you have to have that mentality in everything.
Attitude. Attitude for sure.
Yeah.
Confidence. And it's hard to bring that if you're struggling with the atmosphere and the environment that you're not comfortable with.
Right.
It's hard to do that. So it's really, there's the mindset. You have to talk to yourself a little bit sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Give yourself that little boost of confidence to walk through the door and get the job done.
And
Right.
it's that internal dialogue. I drove up, I'm here. I'm walking in the door.
I'm gonna open the car door
I'm
and
gonna
get
go
out.
in and I'm gonna work out. And you're doing, it's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
Is when you get into trying to be your best you physically, because it's just you, and it's no one else can take that from you. No one else can do that for you. So it's, as a coach, it's one of the places that if people really don't want to delve into that physical part of their bodies, then there's only so much you can do, because how you feel dictates the energy you have for
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
the motivation
How you
have for
present
things.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Absolutely.
think it's a mental game. So what
It
are
is.
some other,
Some others are, there's so many people, it's so busy. Some of the big box gyms get really crazy busy, which is another reason why I love this gym. As you can see right now, I don't know what time it is, 11:15, something like that. It's a huge gym. So I like being a member of a really big gym because there's space to get around, to get on what you want to get on. And there's more than one piece of equipment, something to think about, because a lot of people like the same equipment, especially women, so yeah, I think when you're worried about a whole lot of people being in the gym, check the off peak times too. So early morning, Um, Lunchtime sometimes is kind of hit or miss, but weekends are always off peak times, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Mhm.
less people in the gym, great time to work out.
And last night I went to, we had belt testing at my MMA gym.
Mm,
And one of my friends, I call him Black Belt Ben, is 79 years old
79.
and got his first degree black belt last night.
Wow. Oh, wow. How fun is
First
that?
degree black belt. This guy is 79. He's a
That's
happy
cool.
guy. And he really set, like 10 years ago, he started the journey. It takes a while to get a first degree black belt. But think of the
Wow.
commitment. But think of how worth it he now says it was
Wow.
to do what he did and stand up there last night. And our owners tied that black belt around him and said,
That's so cool.
it's a very small percentage of people that can achieve that, but he did at 79
At
years old.
79. That is so cool. And imagine comparing him to another average 79-year-old male who had not
Right,
done anything physical and hadn't taken care of himself
Yeah.
for the last 10 years.
right.
Imagine that comparison.
Yeah.
There might not even be a comparison because that other one might not be,
That's exactly
you know?
right.
Wow,
exactly
that's
right.
impressive.
So I think that if you would have asked him what his obstacles were, I'm sure he had plenty.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, my knees hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
and so I think that you can look at what is, and you can look at what isn't, and you could look at, what you can do differently. And it's not changing everything, but it's changing some things, perhaps just adjusting your diet a little bit, adding some steps in every day. I know people that are working through chronic illness. If you can't get out and really exercise or walk and sit in the sun, get some outside fresh air, add some steps, and it's, you've got to do the things that are mentally
Mhm.
open to the next thing.
Yeah, you do. You do. And one of the other things, I made sure make a note of this because I did a poll to see, I know what I think, talking about women specifically, what the intimidation factor is. But one of them was said often, and it was, I've gained weight, so I feel embarrassed about going into the gym at the weight that I am now. And it's like, well, that is the exact reason that you need to be up and being more physical. But going back to the baby steps, just starting walking
Yeah.
30 minutes a day will, help get your metabolism going and watching your nutrition. So if weight is a concern, and you want to come down 10 pounds or something like that, well, you can do some things at home, and go visit the gym and then make the gym your goal. You're going to lose 10 pounds if you want to before you start in the gym. So you do some workouts at home.
Yeah.
You begin the walking and that's baby steps getting you, toward the bigger goals.
A couple of years ago, I fell on my bike and I broke some ribs, and it hurt to move.
Gosh, yeah.
It hurt to move. So there were weeks well, I'm not going to say weeks. There were days that my husband had to pull me up because it hurt so bad to make that bend.
Yeah.
But I still remember the day that I walked my first very slow mile. And my husband said, "What are you going to do?" I said, I'm used to running
Yeah.
2, 3 miles, but I had been injured and I was in terrible pain. And I remember my husband said, I had my workout clothes on. He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, I'm gonna walk
I'm gonna do something.
a mile, and it may take 2 hours.
Mhm.
And I took slow steps, but let me just tell you how much I enjoy. It was a
Yeah.
turning point.
Isn't that amazing?
It was, because I just had to do that for myself.
That's amazing. It makes me think about my first 10K.
Yeah.
So I joined a runners club and
Talk about
we
intimidating.
yeah, I was intimidated because these guys had been running. These are runners, so these were just like little sprint things for them. And meanwhile, I'm, panting and after just half a mile. I'm like, holy cow. But did it and I did the 10K, so
And you have to let go of, and we're going to wrap it up with this. You have to let go of what other people think. And this is
That's a big one.
this is not just fitness. This is
Yeah.
every part of life.
Yeah.
You know, when I work with young people as a coach, I teach them how to present themselves to the world. And I say, you know, confidence is a learned skill. Attitude is a learned
It
skill.
is.
It is, you know, how do you get confident? You do things that require confidence, like walking into a gym,
Yeah.
like stepping back from the cake at the whatever it was. It's the mental minutes where you begin to feel great about who you are, but also know who you're becoming.
Yeah.
And so I think letting go of what other people think is so critical
Freeing.
for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So with your coaching, life coaching, when someone's struggling with confidence, because is that kind of the biggest thing that you see?
It is. It's wanting everything to line up, saying, okay, I really want to get that job, and I'm not happy about the job that I'm in. So it's really saying, okay, then what do you have to do to have a plan and say, I want to get that job? And I used to hire a lot of people, and I would help them map out career plans. You know, these are the skills you have. If this is the job description you want, what skills do you need to add? And then sit with those people that have those skills. Say, can I just sit in a room with you when you're doing those things? And then again, you're doing for yourself what only you can do for yourself. That's where it comes from. And one day you're like, man, I ain't really kicking it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you look back and you see how far you've come. That's the cool thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super cool. I think that's cool with fitness, or, you know, if you've got a business plan, coaching. I mean, it's, you know, when you reflect, because sometimes you have to stop and reflect.
Yeah.
Because you forget how far you've come
Yeah.
until you take a few minutes and be like, wow, you know, I'm good.
My first book, people say, oh, how long did it take you to write that? I'm like, 30 years? It took a lot of interviews and storytelling to get that first book out. But, you know, I did a little bit, you know, it really took 2 years once I sat down to do it. And I think that it's just a matter of seeing it through, not giving up on yourself. And when you hit the obstacles, you see them as opportunities, because if you don't, you're going to stop in your tracks, and then you're going to be mad at you. You can't be mad at you. You got to be happy with you. Yeah. So what are you intimidated by? What keeps you from moving forward in that job, in that relationship, in the gym? It's just one step forward. It's not a whole leap. It's one step forward at a time, right?
Take some baby steps. Yeah.
Take some baby steps, but keep taking the baby steps. And eventually they become a little bit more your grown-up steps. I don't know that you ever feel like you've just arrived and you don't have to do anything else, but
no, never. I mean, hell, I've been in the gym 25 years. I arrive every day.
And
every day.
Remember, it's the commitments that you keep to yourself. If you want to have a sense of self and you want to really know who you are, then you really begin to think of, and I do this every day, who is Beth? Who is Beth not? And you know, her, who is Wanda? Who is Wanda not? And really dig into,
and who do I want to be?
And who do I want to be? And that's who you can be.
Yeah.
You just have to do those steps. So we hope you've enjoyed Fit Friday in 15. We were talking this morning about our vision. We have no idea how long it's been because we can't see the little letters on there. But we hope it's about 15 minutes. Yeah. We need.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah. We're gonna need some help eventually.
But we're so glad you guys joined us. We're so glad that we're in this journey together, because we're here to encourage one another. And while we may be ahead of you in some areas, you're ahead of us in others. So what we're here to do is encourage each other and pull each other along and remind each other that you can do it. I can do it. You can do it. But you got to do it.
Yeah.
Let me get up and go turn the button off.
Bye.